I'm a social studies teacher and CRE for the primary school. I also teach high school CRE and geography from 1 to form 4. I'm also a life coach. So for today, I'm before us as a social studies and CRE teacher for primary. I divide my session into 2 parts. Part 1, I'll be telling us what has worked before for all the students I've taught in the past 18 years. Then part 2, I'll be taking us through a paper you did last evening. With me is an analysis of how you guys fared. So we'll be looking at the most failed questions. Then should you have other individual wrongs that we may not have time to look at, maybe through Polycarp, you can get our contact, get in touch, and you can ask all the individual questions you may have away from the session. So part 1, I want to talk to us what I believe has worked for all my students, okay? How to pass in social studies. And in this first part, I have 5 things I need to share with us. The first thing is you need to know your destiny. What's your destiny as a candidate for KCPE? Where have you come from in social studies and CRE marks? What are these marks you used to score before? Okay, right now, where are you? How many marks are you getting currently? All right. What is your future? Where are you headed in terms of your marks? What is this you intend to be getting in the future? And in this case, your future is the KCPE goal. What is this you need to get? All right. Part 2, number 2 of what I wanted to say in this part 1 is Jesus Christ, our greatest of all the teachers, felt a sense of destiny. If you read John, Gospel according to John chapter 8, verse 14, Jesus said here, "No," as he answered, even though I do testify on my own behalf, what I say is true, because I know where I came from and where I am going. That is Jesus, our greatest of all the teachers. Okay, he knew where he came from. He knew where he was going, according to John chapter 8, verse 14. In number 3, I ask us, how do you shape your destiny in social studies and CRE? What you need to understand right now, boys and girls, is that social studies and CRE is a reading subject. Nobody excels without reading. And the best time for reading is that time in the morning when you are very fresh, when you've not listened to anyone, when you've not done anything else. And this time is around 3, 4, 5 a.m. in the morning before everybody else wakes up. That's the best time to read because your mind is freshest that time. So you need to have a personal timetable of what is this you read every day that early in the morning. And it's not just taking a textbook and reading just for the sake of reading. No, this reading is guided by the most failed questions in some of these quizzes and tests and exams that you've been doing. Okay, there are these wrongs that you get. The wrongs, each one of them is an indication of your need, the topic that you need to sit down and analyze and consult. Okay, all right. So concentrate on the most failed topics and not just reading mechanically. Please, your reading should be active. Active reading in this case means you are reading as you are writing your summary notes. Where possible, Convert them into a song that you can sing. Convert them into an acronym that you can use to remind yourself. And if you're not able to do those two things, develop a memory book where you fill in all these points purely based on your needy areas. Okay? So carefully look at those areas. Go ahead and dig deep into that topic. Then where you have a problem, you are able now to consult the adult in your midst, or you are able to call your teacher. You are able to ask and get that personalized, individualized guidance. Now, away from revision, we pray and hope that you've now read and you've grasped all the content. How do you behave in an ideal exam time? You don't just take a paper and do and finish. There's a reason why that paper has a whole 2 hours and 15 minutes. Each one of that second in those 2 hours, 15 minutes is highly valuable. Now, for each question, you need to go through following this word I've written down here. I don't know whether a writer can write the word rust going downwards. Rust. That is R-U-S-T. Rust. So for each and every question, you rust. How do you rust? R in this case means read the first time the question with an intention to familiarize yourself with what the question is asking. And when you read the question, you also read through the answers. That way, you have a rough idea what the question is asking. You have a rough idea what the choices are trying to guide you towards what should be the correct answer. That's the first thing you do when you look at a question. R, read to familiarize yourself with the question and the 4 expected possible answers. But remember, only one of them is most correct. One thing you may want to realize in social studies is that sometimes all the 4 choices are correct, but only one will be marked right. How do you get to know this is the one that will be marked right? That's where now I take us back to U. The first one was R. The second one now is letter U. For you here, I mean underline the stem of the question. Underline the stem of the question. What's a stem? The stem in this case is the keyword. The keyword is the ultimate solution, okay, of the question. The keyword guides you towards which choice is expected. So when you underline with your pencil or with your pen, now you have a rough idea what type of an answer that you should be looking for. All right? R, you've read, you've understood the question and the choices. U, you've underlined the stem, the keyword in the question. Like if you look at the paper you did, the vegetation type that is likely. So the keyword there was likely. If you look at question 8, the best way of ensuring discipline in a school, the keyword there was best, meaning the 4 choices are correct, but the examiner expects you to choose the best. Okay? I take us back to our word rust. We go to S. S in this case means select the answer that is most relevant to the keyword you underlined. S, select the answer that is very much relevant with the keyword you underlined in the question, right? So after you've selected the choice, there are candidates who make mistakes. They've understood the question. They've understood all the choices. They know which choice is wrong. They know which choice is correct. But despite the fact that they know all the choices and they know the question and they know the correct answer, they make a mistake in choosing the correct answer. That's why now we go to the last letter, T. T in this case, it means that you transfer the answer twice to your answer sheet. T, transfer twice. That way, you eliminate all chances of you making a mistake of transferring the wrong answer. So boys and girls, when you're in an exam room, when you're doing a paper, remember you rust all the way through, from the first question to the last question, and take all your time, okay? But I'm not saying you dwell so much on each individual question. Remember, you have 2 hours, 15 minutes per question. If you find yourself taking more than a minute, then there's a problem. Because at the end, you need to create some time to proofread your work, to look at the answer you marked on the question paper and the answer you've written on the answer sheet. Remember, you don't just finish and you have no time to go through. Lastly, number 4, there are these types of questions that come in our SSR paper that challenge each one of us. Basically, that's what makes a paper an exam. That's what makes an exam paper interesting, if I may say. There's that question that challenges you. You may not be able to handle on your own. That's the question now that you don't sit on. You need to reach out. Okay? It could be a question to do with current awareness. It could be something that is a little bit ahead of you in terms of syllabus, but it is there outside there. We see it on the news. Okay? It could be the current happenings outside there. This way now you need to get out of your comfort zone and consult. Okay? Then number 5, I said in this first part we are discussing 5 things. The last, number 5, is that there are those of us who sit down and assume that they know everything. They don't read, they don't do anything. They assume that they are able to grasp everything from the teacher. And number 5, I need to tell all of us, don't over-rely on yourself. I think that's what your teachers sometimes call being overconfident of yourself. Okay?
Please don't disturb Sharon. It's only Sharon to present the paper. So the people who are presenting, please stop doing so. I think the teacher is just coming back. Maybe the problem is maybe amepigiwa simu. Is coming back. And I hope we have started on the right path. Evelyn, you are doing well. And also some people are also helping you there. That is okay. We are doing well. Let's just be quiet. Let's just make the charts social studies and the CRE. Let make it something that we are learning. So I'm seeing people are doing well. Remember, we have been taught about time management. We have been taught how to analyze questions. We have been taught how to look at the questions before, how to transfer the questions so that we eliminate issues of I transferred wrongly. So let's just wait for the teacher to join us again. I think maybe the internet or somebody has called him because he's using the phone. He's back. Mr. Aroi, you're back. Mr. Aroi, you can now unmute and talk. Mr. Aroi, you can unmute.
Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yes, sorry for that technical error. I actually sat on my mouse and clicked close without knowing. Sorry for that. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. So like I was saying, number 5, don't over-rely on yourself. Okay? Only rely on the quality type of revision that you are doing. The only thing you can trust at this point on time is the quality revision you are doing, boys and girls. Okay, a quick review of part 1, how to pass in social studies. Number 1, I challenged all of us and asked whether you know your destiny. Number 2, we quoted Jesus, who knew his destiny. He knew where he was coming from and where he was heading, according to God's will. Okay, what's your will? Number 3, how do you shape your destiny in SSR performance? Okay, and I took you through how to revise, what time to revise, and how to go through each particular question. Okay, number 4, I asked that you consult on some of those challenging reasoning questions. Then number 5, we said don't over rely on yourself. Don't assume that you know. Even if you are getting 60 out of 60 in every paper you are doing, please don't over rely on yourself. Rely on the quality revision you are doing each and every day. So that is part 1, how to pass in social studies and CRE. I don't know whether anybody has a question on my part 1, Bwana Ateto, or we refer all questions to the end of the session. Bwana Ateto, we refer all the questions to the end of the session, or they can first ask.
We refer all the questions at the end.
At the end. So,
yes.
So in case you have any question, you can write it down. Then at the end, we'll spare time to look at all those questions. Very good. Thank you so much. With me is an analysis of how you fared in the paper that you diligently did last evening. And I have a number of questions that were most failed. Okay. The first question is question number 12. I don't know whether Mombi is able to scroll to question. Very good. Question number 12, it's there. Who among the following is correctly matched with the political association he led during the pre-colonial period? Okay. Pre-colonial period, this is during the time that we were actually about to get colonized in Kenya. And now Africans in Kenya had organized themselves into political associations. These political associations had one nature. Okay, they were tribal. They were based in the tribes. You go to central part of Kenya, they had their own tribal cocoons. You go to Western Kenya, the same. You go to Coast, the same. You go to Kambani, the same. And each one of these associations had a leader. Okay. And choice A was talking about Kikuyu Association. This one was headed by chiefs and businessmen, the elites, the learned people around that time. They are the ones who had come together and formed Kikuyu Association in 1920. And the Kikuyu Association, they were just fighting that they be given back their land. Okay. Then choice B was talking about Young Kafirondo Association from Western Kenya and Luo parts. Okay, by Jonathan Okwiri. Then choice C was talking about Ukambani Members Association, but the leader here was Muindi Bingu. Okay, Muindi Bingu. Okay, then choice D was talking about Kikuyu Central Association. This one now was among the Kikuyus in the central parts of Kenya. This one was by Joseph Kang'ethe. So you realize that in terms of the leaders, the correct choice should have been boy. Young Kavirondo Association by Jonathan Okwiri. He was being assisted by a guy we call Ezekiel Apindi. Okay, that was question 12. The other question that was failed most is question number 19. If Sharon can scroll down to 19. Question 19 was talking about regional trade organizations. Okay, when you talk about regional trade organizations, both in East Africa, and in Africa. In East Africa, we have East African Community. In Eastern Africa, we have IGAD. Okay. Then when you go outside Eastern Africa, we have COMESA. You go to Southern Africa, we have SADC. You go to West Africa, we have what? Okay. Now, if you look at all these trade organizations, just like the word says trade, they were formed to promote trade in all means and ways. Okay. If you look at choice A, okay, to promote cooperation. You know, when you talk about trade, it's a situation where we have a willing buyer and a willing seller. So cooperation is a must. So A is very correct because you're actually cooperating towards a certain objective, either of developing yourself or making some profit. Okay. If you look at choice C, let me skip choice boy. If you look at choice C, improve transport and communication. That's part of the essence of trading, a country trading with another country, because you need to get money. Out of that money, you're able to develop the infrastructure in your country, be it the railway, be it the communication, be it the roads, okay? Be it the urbanization and provision of all the social amenities. That's the key reason why a country may be willing to trade with another country. Okay, so improve transport. Out of trading, they get revenue. This is the revenue now they use to develop the various parts in their individual countries. If you look at choice D, encourage competitiveness, competitive trade. In this case, encourage healthy competition in trade. Remember, trade in Africa has been hampered by the fact that each and every country produces what everybody else is producing. You find that in Africa, we produce three key things. Number one, we produce agricultural products, we produce minerals, and we produce crude oil. So you discover that we are producing the same things. So how do we harmonize that? We come up with what we call quotas, so that each and every country is aware what they should be selling outside there, so that each and every one of us in Africa has a chance, a fair chance to sell and make some cash. So if you look at choice B tells us to promote peace and security in the region. And to me, that one is way beyond trade. That one is outside trade. In mind here, when I look at this, the first organization that comes to my mind is IGAD. IGAD that covers the whole of Africa. It's the one that was started in 1993 to promote peace and security in the region. Initially, IGAD was started to try and help stop the drought in the region. You know, Horn of Africa is basically a desert. But later on, when insecurity became a problem, that's when now they changed the original IGAD with the double D to current IGAD with single D. Let me, if you can get me some water, okay? So 19, the correct answer should be boy, okay? If we go to question 20, which was the third most failed question, like I had shared with Bwana Ateto last evening, I saw a problem with that question, but I intentionally decided to leave that question untouched so that we may also use that chance to train you to try and reason through some questions. Sorry, Paul. Because what happens is, here we are looking at Maasai and Fulani in Africa. We all know that they are both great pastoralists. Fulani in West Africa, Maasai in East Africa. Why do they do pastoralism? It's because it's their way of life. It's their source of wealth. It's their means of livelihood. Okay? They keep large numbers of cattle, sheep, and goats, because this is what they turn to whenever they need to meet their needs as individuals, as families, as communities. All right. Now, if you look at choice A to me looks like a similarity, because you go to Fulani, you talk about transhumans. Transhumans, it's the movement en masse. Okay, the Fulani move en masse with all their families on all their thousands of animals. Okay, if you go to the Maasai have what we call nomadism. For Maasai, you discover that it's only the young men that move with the animals, the bigger animals. They leave behind their wives and their small children and the smaller animals. In this case, the goats and the sheep and the calves. So to me, if you look at choice A, it's actually a similarity. If you look at choice B, they both live in simple temporary structures because they are not permanently based in one place. They keep on moving from one place to the other. Why do they move? To look for greener pastures and water to feed their animals. So for the Maasai, they move when drought strikes. They move to greener areas. Same reason for the Fulani. They move to look for pastures and water. The only thing about Fulani is that when they are moving from that Senegal region, the Sahel region, towards Chad in Central Africa, they avoid moving south, because you all know south, we have equatorial type of climate, and this climate is well known to harbor tsetse flies. You know, tsetse flies, they are not very good to our animals. When they bite them, you all know they get trypanosomiasis. So they avoid going south. So their movement is what? Latitudinal. Okay? But the fact is, they all live in simple temporary structures, so that when it comes to moving, they move with ease when they are outside there. Okay? Choice C says that they slaughter their animals for food. Okay? They've inserted the word there, rarely slaughter their animals for food, because these animals, they want them to increase as much as they can. Everybody outside there want to increase their wealth as much as they can. So they only slaughter these animals during certain occasions. But there's a way they are able to get milk, there's a way they are able to get blood from these animals without necessarily killing them. But we are not saying they do not slaughter. They do, but with a specific objective in mind. If you look at Chase Dog says they keep cattle, sheep, and donkeys. But now Chase Dog is not a similarity because, sorry, not dogs, but donkeys. Cattle, sheep, and donkeys. But now Chase Dog has a problem because of the animal donkey. We all know donkey is very popular among the Maasai. They use it to transport their goods when they are moving up and down in their nomadic movement. Okay? If you go to the Kushites who are also pastoralists, they have camels, okay, which again they use to transport their goods. Okay? If you go to Tswana, the Tswana people in Botswana, they have another unique animal called a pig. Okay, other than the cattle, sheep, and goats, Tswana also keep pigs. Okay, another unique thing among the Fulani in West Africa is that they keep horses. So for Fulani, they keep cattle, sheep, goats, and horses. Why horses? Sorry for that. They don't keep horses to do horse racing, yeah? like some of us may think, yeah? Because when you hear of horses, horse racing comes to our mind. No. For Fulani, they have something unique, okay? Very different from all the other pastoralistic communities of Africa. They have special guys we call scouts. Scouts are the ones who ride on the horses, and they ride way ahead of everyone else, the transhumans, because they are busy outside there ahead of everyone else, looking for the places where the rest should come and settle, while Because there's water. Why? Because cannot really survive in those most arid places. They have what we call camels. Okay. For Maasai, they have what we call donkeys. For Tswana, they have what we call pigs. For Fulani, they have what we call horses. So choice dog here was the correct one. Okay. So if I were you, I would change the question to read, below are similarities, not below are differences. That's what I thought in my own wisdom. So that now the correct answer is dog. And I think that's what the examiner also sent us as the correct answer. If we go to the next most failed question, that is question 21. If I may read for us, question 21. Sharon 21. Sharon is doing good work. Thank you, Sharon Mumbi. The question reads, which of the following factors does not influence climatic change? Which one of the following factors does not influence climatic change? If our presenter can write the following word, these are the factors that affect climatic change. If Sharon can write the following word going downwards, Sharon, if you can hear me, D-H-I-N. Sharon, D-H-I-N, going downwards.
Excuse me.
Of the factors that influence climatic change. D stands for deforestation. Factors affecting climatic change. D stands for deforestation. I don't know whether that word is palatable. I think you can read it, pronounce it as dine, D-H.
Excuse me, sir. Cannot hear you.
Me too. I can't hear you.
Just wait. I think it's just okay. Mwalimu, you are breaking a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the teacher is breaking because of I don't know what, but we can continue with what Sharon is writing there. So what do you think H mean? H means what? H. This.
Human activity.
Human activities. Can we write? I think so, but she will come and confirm. Okay. I mean what?
Industrialization.
Industrialization. Industrialization. Check if it is that. Those who are having the books. Okay. Then N stand for what?
Natural factors.
Natural factors.
Volcanic eruption.
Volcanic eruption or the natural factors such as volcanic eruptions and those kind of things. I think so. But it's going to come back. So now you have seen we were supposed to change the question number 19, but the answer still remained the same. So there's no problem. Sharon, you're asking that question. Sharon, is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, so but the answer still remains dog. Let me inquire where he is. But I think we are moving on well. Are we moving on well? Somebody can confirm that we are moving on well.
Yes.
Very good. So let's inquire from the teacher what happened. This internet thing sometimes bring problem. Maybe the internet is out. So let's see. Hey, Professor. Hey. Sawa. So I've confirmed it was just the internet. So the teacher is about to come back. It's a breakdown of the internet. But can we, Sharon, we can move on. We can move on. So you can go to the question. Which one is the next failed question? The next failed question, we can continue as we wait for the teacher to join us. Sharon, you have already written them there in the chat. So you can be able to tell us which one to go to. There's somebody who was asking question number 1. As we wait for the teacher, can somebody read question number 1 and tell that person the answer? Somebody to pick question number 1 and explain why the answer was what it was. Oh, the teacher is back. The teacher is back. The teacher is back.
Okay, sorry. Sorry for that. Sorry for that. Somebody, I think, called or sent a message and interrupted me. I'm so sorry. Next time I'll look for a Wi-Fi. Okay, so we were looking at the industrialization. If we can come back, we are looking at the industrialization, and we are saying this one has led to unplanned and
So I can't hear you.
Excuse me, Cha, we cannot hear you.
Yeah.
Cha, your voice is breaking.
I can't hear you totally.
yeah.
Just relax. teacher, I don't know, Sharon, we can continue as the teacher is preparing the internet. I think there is a problem. We are not hearing, or I'm the only person not hearing.
No, we can't hear.
Yeah, so
We can't
we
hear.
can
You also can't
continue.
hear.
I also
Yeah, thank
can't
you,
hear.
thank you. We will make it right. So let's start. Let's try to catch up from where we left. So we are supposed to go to which number, Sharon? Which number?
25.
25. So can you read it as the prefect?
Which one of the following groups consists of items of trade that were brought into Eastern Africa by Arabs during the pre-colonial period?
So who can discuss, who can tell us what we are supposed to know about that question? Yeah, we eliminate. So can you try to eliminate for us?
Teacher,
Mm-hmm.
slaves were given by the East Africans to the Arabs, not the Arabs brought them, we gave them.
Yes.
So we remove A and D.
Uh-huh. Very good. So we are remaining with C and B. Uh-huh. Continue. You are that the person who was
Arabs brought.
Arabs brought what?
Weapons. Weapons.
So which is the correct answer?
B.
Boy.
Boy, that is sword, dagger, and glassware. Okay, that's okay. Next. Sharon, next. Okay.
Number 27.
Number 27. Somebody to read.
Which of the following groups consists of fresh water lakes found at the shore of the Rift Valley? He's back.
Let me.
Yes,
I want to
yes.
call the teacher and explain what.
Hello.
Oh, the teacher is back. Okay.
Yes. Okay, Polycarp. Hello.
You have it at mute.
No. Yes, I am back. Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Continue. Yes, we
We
are
can hear you.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm so sorry. The end we are talking about natural what factors, the volcanic eruption and all that. So if you look at the choices that came, boys and girls, I apologize for this interruption. A is a little bit off because A talks about production of hydroelectric power. Hydroelectric power, we all know that it is very much eco-friendly. It does not cause any pollution. When you switch on power at home, there's no smoking, there's no emission of gases into the atmosphere. So that one is very much highly advised. That one does not cause any climatic change. That one does not cause any pollution. So that one is the only one that does not influence climatic change. But if you look at B, increased use of fertilizers. Fertilizers are chemicals, and you know what these chemicals do. Okay, when they mix with water and these gases evaporate up there. Irrigation may cause microclimate, where maybe a forest has been planted and people are watering it, and these trees come to help us absorb the excess carbon dioxide in the air. So that one directly contributes. Industrialization, that one has contributed the most. Actually, the biggest contributor to this global warming is the industrialization. All right. So 21, the answer should have been A. And I want to believe most of us chose A, but B, C, and D are greatest contributors to the climatic change. All right.
Excuse me, teacher.
If I can take us to question 25.
Sir,
If
can
I
you finish the definition of DIN?
D, industrialization. Hello? Oh, fertilizers. I was saying that they contribute to chemicals in our soil outside there. Some of these chemicals, when they are mixed with water, what evaporates into the atmosphere, and your guess is as good as mine what happens when these gases go up there into the ozone layer. All right. I don't know if you have any question, you can write it down so that you're able to move. Then at the end, we'll create time for some questions. I think that's what we had agreed from the word go. Okay, question 25 was also not done as well. Question 25. Which of the following groups consist of items of trade that were brought into Eastern Africa by Arabs during the pre-colonial period? Okay. Now here, when we look at this trade, okay, the slave trade, there were two categories of goods. From Africans here, we gave the Arabs the slaves, okay, copper, gold, ivory, rhinoceros horns, bows and arrows, and cereals. Okay, once again, goods that Africans now sold to the Arabs. We have copper, gold, ivory, rhinoceros horns, cereals, bows and arrows. You may also want to add honey and all that. But what you need to understand here, these are goods that we used to have, okay, traditionally within Africa. Then in exchange, remember this is barter trade. Okay, barter trade, we exchange good for goods. In exchange, Arabs brought us, okay, cotton clothes, okay, porcelain materials, iron pots, swords, daggers, glassware, okay, spices, and cowrie shells. So if you look at the two categories of goods, you look at choice A. Choice A is mixed up because slaves and porcelain and iron pots, they cover the two groups. While here, the answer should only be what came from the Arabs. So choice A, slaves came from Africans. Porcelain and iron pots came from the Arabs. Okay. Choice B, that was the most correct one because it's talking about swords, daggers, and glassware. Remember, Arabs mostly brought in fully manufactured goods. Okay. Choice C, tortoise cells are from African side. Arabs brought cowrie shells. Cowrie shells, they are the shells we collect at the beach. But tortoise, these are animals found we mostly within the interior. Spices and glassware. So choice C may have a problem because of the tortoise cells. Choice dog talks about slaves, gold, and spices. Again, choice dog may have a problem because because of slaves, okay, slaves from Africans, gold and spices from the Arabs, okay. So the most correct answer there should have been choice boy. Okay, choice boy is purely now Arabic in the goods that they brought. That is the swords, daggers, and the glassware. Okay. Please, if you can write down the question, then after we finish, we'll take time, we clarify and answer all the question. Thank you. Question 27. Question 27 was also not done as well as we expected. Which of the following, question 27, which of the following groups consists of freshwater lakes found at the floor of the Rift Valley? Okay, remember the keyword is floor of the Rift Valley. Now, we have two types of lakes. We have freshwater lakes, meaning that the water does not have as much concentration of minerals. Then we have the salty or saline lakes. The water there has a lot of minerals and it tastes like those minerals are. All right. If you look at Ethiopia, we have Zwai, the lakes on the floor. We have Zwai, Lake Zwai, Abaya, Zwai, Abaya. Okay. We have Langala and Stephanie. Okay. That's in Ethiopia on the floor of the Rift Valley. Okay. If you look at Kenya, we have Nakuru, Elementaita, Magadi, Bogoria,
Excuse me, Chair.
Turkana. Okay. We also have Baringo and Naivasha. If you look at Tanzania, we have Manyara, Easi, Natron, okay, Tanganyika, and Rukwa. If you go to the western branch of the Rift Valley in Uganda, okay, we have Edward and Albert, Lakes Edward and Albert. Then around Rwanda, we have Lake Kivu. All those are lakes on the floor of the Rift Valley. Okay, if you look at all these lakes, okay, the fresh ones, we have Easi, we have Tanganyika, Edward, we have Malawi, Rukwa, Naivasha, okay, Baringo, Those are then for the Ethiopia, we have Abaya and Stephanie. Those are the fresh ones. Then the salty ones, we have Natron, Magadi, Bogoria,
I can't hear you.
Nakuru, Elementaita, and Manyara. So if you look at the grouping of the two categories of lakes, the most correct answer there should have been choice boy. Okay, choice boy talks about Rukwa, Edward, and Baringo. Choice A is wrong. Choice A is wrong because of Natron. Okay, because of Natron and Manyara. Choice C is wrong because of Turkana. Remember, Some books tell us that Turkana is fresh. But remember, Lake Turkana has no outlet. So it's saline. The water only tastes fresh on the two sides where River Kerio empties its water into it, and the part where River Takwel empties water into it. 99% of the lake is actually saline. It's a
Excuse me, teacher. Is Lake Albert fresh or salty?
Frida mute. Mwalimu Nzia. Mwalimu Francis. Mwalimu Francis. Ametoka. Poleni sana, this lesson is having a problem, I think, with the internet for the teacher. And Mr. Francis, are you there?
I'm there, Mr. Ateto.
We introduce that when you want to introduce as we wait for the teacher.
Mr. Levis. Mr. Levis, can you hear me? Mr. Levis. Mr. Levis.
So let's continue, Sharon, as we wait for the teachers. They are also, I think their internets are also not in the right place. I don't know what's happening with the internet today, but bear with us, it's okay. So Sharon, we can continue.
Yes, Polycarp.
Oh, you are back. Thank you.
I don't know what's wrong with the internet today.
There's a problem. Even me, I'm experiencing it. There's no problem. You can continue.
It's on and off, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So we were looking at question 41, eh? Question 41 was also not done as expected, eh? Mzee Jomo Kenyatta is...
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes?
Yeah, I was supposed to be introduced, but I had some lapse in network.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm the one Mr. Nzia wanted to introduce. I hope Mr. Nzia is getting me.
Bona Polycarp.
Yes.
Polycarp, maybe you can address that. Hello, Polycarp. Polycarp. I don't know. Polycarp is the host. I don't know whether you can call him directly on his phone.
Okay, I can see Nzia is around.
Yes, yes. Yes. Okay.
Hello, Mr. Polycarp.
Polycarp?
Yes.
Polycarp is yes. This Mr. Nzia is saying something. Please address it.
Okay. There's a teacher who was supposed to introduce himself.
Okay. Yes,
Let
Mr.
me hear
Nzia,
from
go
him.
on. Mr. Nzia, go on.
I think
okay. I continue, eh?
Yes.
Okay, so we are looking at 41. Mzee Jomo Kenyatta is remembered in Kenya for all the following reasons except, okay, he initiated settlement schemes together with the whites in the 1950s and 60s. That's very correct, Choice Boy. Okay, Choice C was a founder member of East African Community, very, very true. Okay, together with the Julius Kabarage Nyerere, okay, and their Ugandan counterpart. And Choice Dog introduced free primary education, just like Moi did partly. Kibaki also did a little bit of that, and our current president also did a little bit of that. But he never fought for multi-party system in Kenya. That happened in 1991. Okay, he never fought for multi-party system. Okay, he fought for independence in 1963. So the most correct answer there, 41 should have been A. We marked A. Okay. 57 was also not done as well. 57 is talking about the government of Swaziland. Okay. What is true about the government of Swaziland is that it's headed by a king, a monarch. Okay. They have a lifelong king. Okay. And the leadership there is hereditary. The kingship is in the family. And it's true they do have some elections, but they don't elect everyone. Okay? There are some section of the leaders who the king has to appoint directly. All right? So the other unique thing about Swaziland is that they don't allow political parties. Okay? No public gatherings there without the authority of the king. All right. So you discover that the king appoints some senators and he appoints some MPs. All right. So Choice A says the king is the head of state. It's true. He's also the head of the government and the commander-in-chief of the armed forces in that country. Okay. Choice C, the prime minister is elected by registered voters. No, prime minister is one of the people who are handpicked and appointed by the king. Okay. Then choice C, elections are done after every 5 years. That's very true. Every 5 years they actually do elections. Okay. Then choice dog, the kingdom has traditional courts, each under a chief. That's very true. Actually, their constitution is based on traditional taboos. Okay. The Tinkudla thing. Okay. And it's the work of the chiefs to execute what is contained in that traditional kind of constitution. So you discover that 57, the best correct answer is boy, because the prime minister is not elected. He is appointed by the king, just like he does to some cabinet members and to some of the MPs representing the various districts in the country. Okay, so I think we are done with social studies. We can go to
Excuse me,
Please
teacher.
write the question down. Write the question down, then we'll clarify at the end. Then in CRE, we did very well. The most failed question was only one. That is question 86. CRE question 86. Sharon needs to scroll down to question 86. Sharon. Question 86 says, Troy was asked to name a value that is both a gift and a fruit of the Holy Spirit. The best answer to give was, now you discover that in primary school syllabus, we mostly concentrate on the nine fruits and the 9 gifts. But there's one which we also add in high school, high school, called love. Okay, now when we talk about faith, faith is a gift. Okay, what is faith? Believing in something that you cannot see. But now don't confuse it with the word faithfulness. Faithfulness is actually a fruit. And faithfulness is being firm in your loyalty to something. Like now you can say, I'm faithful to my spouse. I'm faithful in my studies. I'm very honest. So the term faith and faithfulness, those are two different things. Faithfulness is a fruit. Faith is a gift. But please, faith and faithfulness are not the same. They are two different things. Patience, it's a fruit. Goodness is a fruit. But now in high school, we teach that love is both a gift and a fruit. Why is love a fruit? When you are expressing your emotions towards something, or for something, or towards somebody, you are feeling that this person means a lot to me. That is a fruit. Remember, a fruit, it's something that comes out of something. So the emotions you exhibit because of your relationship or your attachment to something, that is the fruit part of love. But now you are being devoted to the same thing. That's now the gift part of it. Like now, we can say you are devoted to your studies because it's on a Saturday. Instead of going outside there for swimming, you are seated learning. You are devoted. That devotion, in its own sense, that commitment, that's a gift. So in this particular question, the most correct answer should have been A. Love is both a gift and a fruit. And I'll surprise you guys. This is a question that came in KCP 2015, number 81, just the way it is. The question was asking in KCP 2015, number 81, which one of the following is both a gift and a fruit of the Holy Spirit? And the answer was marked C, nationally in KCP 2015. So 81, 2015, they marked C, which is love. It's the same question that has been repeated here. But do not worry about that. Next year, you are coming to Form 1, and that's what I'll teach you if you come to my high school. So boys and girls and my fellow colleagues, that brings me to the end of the highlights of the most failed questions. Polycarp, if you can hear me, I think now we can allow questions as you introduced Mr. Nzia.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mwalimu. I think the learners now, they have gotten the question that they failed, but we can now take a few questions from them as we continue. I don't know if Mr. Nzia is here. Mr. Nzia? Okay, Mr. Nzia is not here. So if he's not here, let's just continue the question of the children. We will see him during science lesson because time is moving on.
Okay.
Okay. So somebody has said question number 9. I think they are writing them in the chat there, Mr. Roy. So you can go through them very fast, and then we see how we can answer them. They might be many, might not finish, but just try to answer them very fast. But in the meantime, we can get questions from somebody who wants clarification. Somebody can talk. Maybe you want a clarification on something. You can say.
Yeah.
Number
Excuse me,
Excuse me, teacher. 21.
Ryan?
Number 21
Sorry?
about the factors that influence climate change. They did not understand they did not understand the mnemonic.
The mnemonic,
Mnemonic.
yes.
The acronym, eh?
Yes.
We can spell it again. DHIN. That's the word, eh? I don't know how you pronounce that word, DHIN. I think with my heavy tongue, I can pronounce it as DIN, eh? DIN. DHIN, DIN. D was for deforestation. H for human factors or human activities. I, industrialization. And N, natural factors. I repeat. D, deforestation. H, human activities. I, industrialization. And N, natural factors. That's a summary of the 4 key factors influencing our climatic change. And remember, we say the correct answer is A, because A is eco-friendly, meaning it does not cause any pollution.
Very good. We can also.
I can see Mr. Nzia is back. You can introduce. Number?
Yes, I'm back, Mr. Teto.
50.
Mwalimu Nzia.
Naam.
Mwalimu Nzia anaingia sana. Mwalimu Nzia na Kiswahili pekee. World Cup darasani.
Nzia?
Mr. Teto.
When is the next lesson?
Mr. Teto.
The next lesson is at 11, eh?
Mr. Waroi, we can't get Nzia vizuri, so we don't need to waste time. Maybe we'll talk later.
Okay.
We'll talk later. We can pick the questions for SS.
Okay, we can hear the next question.
So let's look at number 19, Mr. Waroi.
Question 19, eh?
12.
Question 19 was talking about regional trade organizations, okay, were formed for all the following reasons except, and you are saying A is very correct because A emphasizes on cooperation. And this year we said when it comes to trading, there's that aspect of willing buyer, willing seller basis. So that's a form of cooperation. So A is very much correct. Then we are talking about choice C, which talks about improving transport and communication among member states, because there's a reason why these countries are taking part in the trade. It's so that they may earn revenue, they may earn some income to go back to their member countries and develop, okay, improve the infrastructure. So C is very much correct, all right? Then dog talks about encourage competitive trade, promote healthy trade. And this way I was saying that in Africa, we mostly produce 3 types of goods. Okay, we produce minerals, we produce agricultural goods, we produce petroleum oil. Actually, the 3 commodities spell the word map. M for minerals, A for agricultural, and P for petroleum goods. Those are the 3 key goods we produce in Africa. So you discover that trade in Africa will never be fair because all of us produce the same goods. Actually, we say the main problem facing trade in Africa is production of similar goods because all our goods are MAP, M-A-P, minerals, agricultural, and petroleum oil. So for us now to engage in a healthy trade, now we make it competitive by creating what we call quotas, that each country has the quantity and amount that they can export at one given time, so that each and every member has a chance to participate and be part of the trade and earn the revenue that we badly need. So if you look at Choice Dog is talking about promoting peace and security. That one sounds more of administrative. It's true in the long run, peace and security affects trade, but that one may be a bit off the initial intention of conducting trade. And this way we are referring to organizations like IGAD, which was formed to promote peace and security within the Horn of Africa, all right? You can also talk about African Union, okay, and OAU, the initial form of the African Union, all right? But when you talk about regional trade organizations, then the answers should purely be trade related. So the correct answers is A, cat and dog, but boy should be the one that should be exempted. So the correct answer we marked in this case is boy.
Thank you.
Yes.
Number 20.
Okay.
Number 20.
Thank you, sir. Question 20.
Now,
question 20.
Mwalimu,
yes.
Mwalimu, we have already gone through number 20, so let's we will get it from the recording. So we answer the question that have not been answered.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Number?
I have a question.
Number?
Number 43, teacher.
43.
Question number 43. 43 is a very good question. All the following are uses of clothes. Okay. Which one is not? Okay. Now, we use cloves to make medicine. We use clove to make medicine. That's very correct. We use cloves to make cakes and make it taste that spicy flavor. All right. We use cloves to make perfumes. Okay. All right. But preserving food, that one we mostly use other things other than clove. Preserving food. Okay. We mostly use salt. So the answer there we marked was boy. Okay, I don't know whether I've answered that question very well.
That's okay.
Boy, yes.
45.
45.
Yes, I have a question.
45. If I may answer question 45, which one of the following crops is grown both in Mwea Tebere and Pakera irrigation scheme? Now, when you talk about Mwea Tebere, the key crop there in Mwea Tebere is rice. Okay, but other than rice, we also have irrigated crops. We have tomatoes. Okay, we also do have other things like beans. Okay, all right. If you look at Pakera irrigation scheme, we have watermelons, seed maize. Okay. The potatoes are actually grown here in Kinago. Okay? But you find that in both irrigation schemes, we actually have tomatoes. Okay? Actually, you go to Githurai 45 and Ukulima market there, we have a lot of tomatoes that come from Kirinyaga. That's Mwea Tebere. So the correct answer you are marking there was boy, tomatoes. Yes, Ateto.
Okay. It is 51. Some people are saying 51, 51.
55. Okay, I get it. 51. Thank you. Political parties' beliefs, policies, and programs are written in a document known as manifesto. Jubilee has a manifesto. Okay. ODM has a manifesto. All those political parties you see outside there, they have a document called manifesto. It's a summary of what the party intends to do for our country, Kenya. But now when you go to parliament, when they are discussing the proceedings from the discussions they hold every day are recorded by the clerk of the National Assembly in a book called Hansard. Hansard. Okay? Now, parties don't have a constitution. We only have one constitution in Kenya. Parties have what we call manifesto. Okay. Affidavit that one is found in a court of law where you are swearing, okay, about something, where you lift up your Bible and you swear that I so and so, blah, 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 blah. So 51, we are marking C, party manifesto. These are current awareness questions. It's part of the questions I was saying. You expect them to make our exam paper complete. So you need to be listening to your news. You need to be reading your newspapers so that you are in touch with what is happening outside there.
Okay.
Next question.
Number 55.
55, it is, which one of the following places in Kenya is not protected as a prehistoric site? Okay. Kobe Fora, it's a prehistoric site because it has the remains of the early man. Okay. Fort Tenan, again, it is a protected prehistoric site because it has the remains of the early man. Kariandusi, the same. But now when we come to Lake Bogoria, you go to Lake Bogoria, we have the beautiful scenery in the surroundings, and we also have the springs, the hot springs. I remember there's a year I took my students there, and we actually cooked eggs using that hot spring. Hot spring is some water oozing out of the ground. It's very hot. It actually comes out in form of smoke. So Lake Bogoria, it's a tourist destination, not a prehistoric site. Thank you. Next question.
So number 60.
Number?
60.
Number? Sorry?
57.
Number? 57. Come again, please.
And 60.
Question 60. Very good. Now,
60.
Question 60. I'm a 50. 60. 60. Which of the following Kenya's philosophies was introduced in 1965? Now, what are philosophies? They are aspirations that we have as a country towards developing and making our nation a developed country. All right. So each and every president, when they come into the office after they are elected, there's the aspiration they have for the country. There's the goal they have over the country in the next 5 years that they'll be our president. So you find that in 1978, when Daniel Toroitich Kimietich Arap Moi became the president, okay, he started what we call Nyayo philosophy. He was stressing on 3 things: peace, love, and unity in 1978, okay, until he exited the office in 2002, okay. In 1963, when our very first president, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, became president in 1963, he introduced a philosophy known as Harambe. Now, Harambe is the name of a god among the Indians. The god known as Harambe, they believe that it's the source of their strength. So when they were building the railway in Kenya, they would call upon their god, Harambe, to come and give them strength to lift up those heavy rails. That's where Kenyatta now picked the word Harambe. So the word Harambe now, in our own sense in Kenya, it means coming together for a common cause, putting resources together so that we can develop the country. That happened in 1963. Okay, now African socialism happened in 1965, where Kenyatta decided that he needs to base the administration of the country on the African socialism. Africans used to live in villages. We had that togetherness. We used to farm together. Land used to be owned communally. Okay, everything is done together. You find families in the village coming together to go and dig, to go and attack such and such an animal, to go and address such and such a problem. That's the socialism he was trying to introduce to try and develop Kenya. Though it failed miserably in Kenya, actually it only succeeded in Tanzania. In Kenya it failed, but that one was started in 1965. Then in 2002, when Emilio Mwai Kibaki became the president of Kenya, he introduced working nation, okay? Kufanya kazi. And as you can see, we remember him for so many development projects in Kenya, including our very own Thika Superhighway. He's actually the ones who masterminded the standard gauge railway that now the current president has come and developed. So basically, Nyayo is in 1978, Harambee 1963, African Socialism 1965, Working Nation 2002. Next question, please.
Number
59.
Thank you. Number 59. The United Nations agency which promotes intercultural heritage. Okay. Now, when we talk about UNICEF, United Nations International Children's Education Fund, that one deals with the children, the support of the children and the widowed mothers. All right. United Nations High Commission for Refugees. Okay, United Nations High Commission for Refugees. That one deals with the refugees. All right. Then United Nations Environmental Program. That one deals with the environment. Actually, we are so lucky as Kenya. We are blessed to house UNEP in Nairobi here at Gingiri. Okay. United Nations Education, Science and Cultural Organization. I repeat, UNESCO, United Nations Education, Science and Cultural Organization. That's the question they were asking. So our correct answer should have been dog. Next question, please. And Polycarp, please guide us on the time.
49.
Question 49. Polycarp, you can also guide us on the time.
Yeah, we are almost done. I think that one will be the second last question.
49, the second last one. Thank you. Question 49. The following are problems facing forestry in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Which one? Which one is not? Remember, Congo is a country found within the equatorial belt of Africa. What do we all know about the equatorial belt of Africa? Number one, it is ever wet. There's rain every day in the afternoon. And not only just rain, heavy rain. Number two, it's hot throughout the year. And in science, we say when there's moisture, there's warmth, and there's oxygen, you know plants are evergreen. So when you go to that equatorial region, most specifically DRC Congo, the trees are evergreen. And because of the supportive conditions throughout the year, the trees grow to mighty heights. It has very tall trees. And remember, all those trees are hardwoods, the likes of camphor and mahogany and Elgon teak. So you discover that in that country, there have been some problems because Africans will always be the Africans that we are. When you get something that you can make a coin out of, we want to do it until it's exhausted. So illegal harvesting of those trees is a very common problem because these trees are in very great demand, both in Africa and outside Africa. And one of the main sources of foreign exchange for DR Congo is the exporting of this timber made up of the hardwoods. Okay. B, increased human population. Yes, these are very genuine problem, not only in Congo, but even everywhere in Africa. Because you realize that the more we become, the more land we need. This land is not there. So we can only now create this land. How do we create this land? By encroaching into our forests so that we can settle our people down. Okay. C, poor harvesting methods. When I talk about poor harvesting methods here, it's a correct problem here. It's an ideal problem facing DR Congo because what they do when they need to reach a certain type of a tree. What do they do on the way? They clear all the other trees. They destroy so much vegetation on the way to reach the specific tree they want to harvest. So in the process, they clear everything on their way. And that's what we are calling deforestation. Other than that, they just know how to cut down. Rarely do they go back and do what we call afforestation. So once they cut down, that place is left empty like that. And in the process, it's affecting our climate, part of what we talked about, global warming. That's why in this particular question, we marked choice dog. What is choice dog talking about? Prolonged periods of drought. In DR Congo, there's no drought. Why? There's rain every day. Actually, they receive 2 types of rainfall every day. There's the relief rainfall that falls on the higher parts, especially the Cameroon region, the Adamawa Highlands region. Okay, there's the convectional rainfall that now falls around, near and around the coastal parts of Atlantic Ocean. All right, so that place has never been dry and will never be dry because they get rainfall every day. So 49 correct answer is dog. Next question, please.
Sure, number 63.
Number 21.
Question 63. I believe that will be the last one, Ateto, because of time. Question 63. Question 63. This one has been a debate for the 21 years I've taught. Question 63 has been a debate. Some students and some teachers will want to tell you Haran. Some students, some teachers will want to tell you Ur. But I want right now to tell us why the confusion has been there. Though for this particular question, we marked the Haran. But the 3 times this question has come in KCP, they have left the question unmarked because the choices are very confusing. Why are they confusing? Let me tell you. There are 2 types of migration that Abraham did with his family. There's the Ur to Haran migration that happened in Genesis 11:1. And what the Bible says in the book of Acts 7:2-4, if I can read for you Acts 7:2-4, then you'll know what I'm talking about. Acts chapter 7, verse 2-4 says, Stephen answered, brothers and fathers, listen to me. Before our ancestor Abraham had gone to live in Haran, the God of glory appeared to him in Mesopotamia. Ur was a city in Mesopotamia, okay? And said to him, leave your family and country and go to the land that I will show you. You see, God appeared to Abraham. Then Abraham, through his father Terah, initiated the movement out of Ur to Haran. Then again, when they were in Haran, God again appeared to Abraham and asked Abraham to move from Haran to the promised land, Canaan. Why did they settle in Haran? The initial plan was not to move from Ur to Haran. They were to move from Ur to Canaan. But why did they settle in Haran? You know, Haran is known for greener pastures and water, and these guys were having a lot of animals. Then the father had also become old of age. And if you remember, this where he died at Haran at 205 years of age. After his death, that's when now God again appeared to Abraham and asked him to move to the promised land. But if I can take us back to Genesis 12, Genesis chapter 12, Genesis chapter 12, verse 1-3. Genesis chapter 12, verse 1-3. Here again, God appeared to Abraham once again. What did God tell Abraham? The Lord said to Abraham, leave your country, your relatives, and your father's home, and go to a land that I'm going to show you. You get that? So whenever that question comes, there's that confusion. The theologists will tell you Ur. I actually asked my own pastor, the church where I go to, I worship at Car West Baptist Church. I went to my own pastor, Pastor Joel in Jairo, and he told me the answer should be Ur. Okay? If you go to teachers, teachers will tell you the answer should be Haran. So boys and girls, I don't want you to get into that debate. I don't think this question can come in KCP because there's usually that confusion. Because to me, it can be Ur, it can be Haran, depending on where you want to look at. All right. So Bwana Ateto, I think I've clarified there. Bwana Ateto.
So that's great. Thank you very much, Mwalimu.
You're welcome.
Thank you. We have so many questions, but we cannot answer all of them.
Maybe
I'm seeing Mwalimu Levis Uma with us. Uma is the author of a first book. He's with us here. Let me hear him talking, say something before we close the meeting.
No problem.
Yes, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I want to take this opportunity. We thank God for the day. I want to also thank God for joining you people in this forum. I am Mr. Levi Souma. I'm the one of the authors for the Signal KCP revision book, and I'm also an examiner. I'm the one setting Signal exam series, and also I'm a mentor. I hope we are going to be supporting each other in this program. I appreciate the teacher who was presenting, Mr. Warui, and also Mr. Odek.
Thank you.
Going forward, we are going to work in hand, and I hope soon I'm also going to be part of the presentation. God bless you. I was not able to be introduced because Mr. Nzia was not able to settle and give me the formal introduction. Thank you. God bless you for now.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
So thank you very much. Thank you very much, our children. Thank you for being patient today. You are quiet. There was a problem with the internet, but all those things always being solved. They are internet issues, but we appreciate that you are quiet and listen to our teacher. I want you to take a break now, and then you come back for science at 11.